Hey everybody, it's 123 Mr. B here. We're going to do some more mixed number subtraction with borrowing or with all that kind of stuff. And so this one, let's look at this. We have different denominators this time. We're subtracting or adding, so that means we have to find the LCM. Oh, I'm going to use another shortcut. Check this out. They're both, here we can use two shortcuts. They're both prime. They're also both odd and 2 apart. Okay, so both of these tell us that the LCM is just simply going to be denominator times denominator. So that's a shortcut from a previous video. So 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, so our LCM is going to be 35. There's our first thought. Let's rephrase these fractions here. 3 over 7 equals something out of 35. I'm timesing by 5. I'm timesing by 5. So that's 15 out of 35. 4 out of 5 equals something out of 35. So I'm timesing by 7. So I'm timesing by 7. I have 28. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to rephrase that to be 15 over 35, and I'm going to rephrase this thing to be 28 over 35. Okay, so there's my place values. You know what, I'm gonna make this a little bigger. How about 17 and 12? No, 27 and 12. That way, look, now we have more place values. We have our 1s, we have our 10s, and then we have our less than 1s. Okay, so I don't care about this stuff anymore because it's used up. I don't care about this anymore. Happy. Okay, so let's see. 15 take away 28. Well, I know, into my thought balloons again. If 28 minus 15 is positive 13, then it follows that 15 subtract 28 is negative 13. Okay, so that's that. So I have negative 13 over 35 there. 7 minus 2 is 5. 2 minus 1, because there's 1 under there, is 1. So my answer is 15 minus da-da-da. Okay, now remember, I know that negative 13 over 35 can also be written like negative 13 over 35. If this is true, then it follows that my answer here must be really the same as this. 15, instead of the minus sign there, negative 13 over 35. And this tells us that we're not done yet. We still have work to do. So here's where I break it down. 14 plus 1. I can bring down everything else. Minus 13 over 35. I can say that 1 is 14 and this is 35 over 35. I know that because 1 equals 1 over 1, it equals 2 over 2, it equals 3 over 3, and so forth, up to 35 and 35, and so on to infinity over infinity, actually. And even with those letters, it does the same thing. I'm going to bring everything else down there, minus 13 over 35. I'm going to combine things, 14 plus... See, this is the same denominator, so I can combine them here. 35 minus 13 over 35. Okay, so first of all, I'm missing my equal signs. I'll get that fixed up. Oh, I've never had to do this before. I'm on a new piece of paper. Okay, so continuing. 14 plus, and that's going to be 22 over 35. And that's just going to be 14 and 22 over 35. Now, we know that this is in proper form because this is smaller than this. That's true. Let's just quickly see if it's simplified. 22 can be broken down to 2 times 11. That's prime. 35 is broken down to 5 times 7. Nothing cancels out. So that tells us that this indeed is also in proper form. Okay. Look at all that work. Okay, let's see if there's another way. Oh, well, in the previous video, I showed you a way to do it like laterally. 27 and 3/7 minus 12 and 4, what was that, fifths? Yeah, so we started it laterally and we just kind of moved our numbers out here. 27 minus 12, and then 3/7 minus 4/5. Might as well just finish this up here. Once we know that the LCM is 28, we can just re-put our information in here. This is going to be 15 over 35, and this is going to be 28 over 35. And then we end up with the same thing. And from here to here is 15, right? And then processing it from here, we had like virtually the same thing. 15 plus negative 13 over 35, and everything is the same and is the same and the same. Okay, I'm not going to go through that again. What I am going to go through is a way that I didn't show in the last video, and it's called regrouping. Okay, so we have 27 and 3 over 7 and 12 minus 4/5. Okay, now I know that that's going to be 15 over 35, and I know that this is going to be 28 over 35. Okay, so we're already at that stage, no problem. So I have to give away 28 more. What I only have is 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust out one of these from the ones column, call it a 6, and instead I'm going to put that 1 in here. Now the thing is, I'm dealing with 35ths, so that's going to be a 35 over 35. So I took a 1 out of this change tray and I broke it up into here and I put it back. So this is my 1, I put back, I took 1 away from there. Oops, I hit the camera. So what do we really have here? I have 50 over 35. If I add these together, I have 50 over 35. Now I'm going to bring this over there, 28 over 35. Look how big my less than ones column is, but that's okay. All I need to know is that everything from here to here no longer matters. It doesn't matter anymore. So 2 minus 1 is 1, 6 minus 2 is 4, 50 minus 28 is 22 over 35. Wow, that's actually quite shorter. The reason I don't show this till the very end is because here, if I said, okay, now show me what you did, a lot of people say, I'm not sure because all the evidence is piled on top of each other. Okay, and compare that to something like this where every line has its own evidence stream, right? Truth, truth, truth. There's like little checkpoints, right? You can use this method or you can use this method, okay? Most students that have had said this is much harder to explain because the steps are layered on top. This is much easier to explain because it's piece by piece. It's up to you. All I care about is that you can teach it to me at some point in time. That's how I'm going to tell that you actually know what you're doing.